How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. And today, for probably the next couple episodes, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna go over over a number of video game adaptations, and we're gonna start with Castlevania, which is one of my favorite adaptations of recent memory. I really think it kind of kickstarted a number of them, kind of just on this hit streak. Really, you have like Castlevania, you have Fallout, you have Super Mario Brothers. Just feels like we're in a really good place. You also have The Last of Us. Feels like you're in a really good place. I wanted to go with Castlevania first because I know Jack loves this type of shit. I knew it was gonna be right up his alley.
Damn.
We only did the first 2 seasons. I didn't want to like overwhelm anybody, even though I do feel like seasons 3 and 4 are fantastic, especially season 4, which wraps up all the individual stories. But season 1 and 2 do a really good job. It was developed by or created by Adi Shankar. For those who don't know who he is, Adi Shankar, if you go into he started like in YouTube doing like parodies of like Marvel films. He has like a Venom one that's incredibly violent. And then he did a rated R Power Rangers, which got him a lot of views.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, and then it got hit by copyright. Obviously, Saban Films was like, we're not doing that shit with our people. And then he eventually got Castlevania. He did something with like an Ubisoft adaptation. I can't remember the actual. It's on Netflix as well. That one's okay. But Castlevania seasons 1 and 2. Then they also have Castlevania Nocturne. But I want to get Jack's impressions first. Jack, what'd you think of seasons 1 and 2, man?
It was nice. It had the right amount of blood and guts and
Drama?
dark and drama. It was about a man who was scorned by the loss of his wife, and all he wanted to do was get revenge
and murder everybody.
And murder everybody.
He wanted to commit genocide of the peoples.
Was there anything that surprised you, by the way, in the first couple episodes, like in terms of violence? I just want to.
Not really. I once I saw what type of show this was, like everything else kind of made sense.
Not when the baby got grabbed.
Dude, that shit.
I was
in the second episode, that was.
Me what they allowed to show, like what was killed and everything like that. That was surprising. But it was it's the whole Trevor Belmont and then the sorcerer or whatever, the speaker,
Sypha.
whatever I forgot her name is,
Sypha.
Yeah. That was a cool dynamic. And then it was kind of like took a different. The story went a different way than I would assume it would have gone with his son coming in,
Alucard,
and being against him.
Well, I mean, so it's interesting because I assume. Chibi, Jack, you guys has anyone here played Castlevania before?
Nope.
Yeah.
Outside of me. Okay. So this one is more of an adaptation of like Castlevania 3. And so it's Trevor, Sypha, and then Alucard is like he's not really, I think he's kind of more mentioned, but son of Dracula. What's interesting is that like when you take like an NES game or even a Super NES game, you're not going to get much in terms of story. So basically they took like the just basics of all the characters and then crafted an entire world out of it.
Dang.
So they pretty much took like seasons 1 and 2 or more toward like Castlevania 3, and then 4 and 5 just kind of go off on different territories, because like usually in Castlevania, like death as a character is pretty much prevalent throughout the entire thing. Is actually a major boss before you hit Dracula. And it was interesting because I was like, how do you take a game that literally has pretty much a simple plot device, which is like kill the vampire, that's it, and then expand upon it? So basically what they did was they included elements from all the different games. So they mentioned Leon Belmont when they initially went down to the Belmont, like a stronghold. And Leon Belmont is the first Belmont to enter into Wallachia. And then like what's interesting is that I kind of wanted them to adapt him next as a story instead of going to the most popular franchise or popular game in the series in Symphony of the Night, because Leon Belmont and Dracula actually have a very personal relationship. They actually know each other, and then eventually
they get freaky at one.
They get freaky. No,
really?
No, they don't.
Oh.
Basically,
I was like, okay.
Basically, there's like a large betrayal between the two, and then fucking Dracula he was human, then he became a vampire, and then all that stuff. Then it becomes like this eternal like hunt and stuff like that. And also, it would have been interesting to kind of see why the church ostracized or expelled the Belmont clan. Chibi.
The whole thing was about, You start some shit, you're gonna be some shit.
I was very interested
Fuck
to see
around and
how
find out.
everyone's reaction of like the first 4 episodes, because essentially they took a character who in almost every piece of fiction, Dracula is not someone that you can say is, you know, a tragic character. And instead of making him like a straight on villain, you know, you make him this character who's like
They gave him feelings.
somewhat human, right?
Relatable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, right.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jack. I'm really hoping you watch the rest of the season. Like season 3 is kind of like, I would call it like the world building, you know, further world building, fleshing out certain characters, taking certain characters that, you know, pretty much went down their paths in season 2, and then it kind of just branches them out, and it kind of gives you more background of like how Alucard is adjusting with killing his father, and then it gives you more Sypha.
So there's no more Dracula.
I can't spoil that for you guys, but when you get to season, like you start like with season 3 is a great setup for season 4, and then when season 4 gets to its end, dude, it's fucking amazing. It's probably they have so
I'll
many
keep
great
watching.
like finales and stuff like that. Chibi, how did you feel about it? I know this is not like the typical uber violent show you'd watch, but you know, I was curious to see how you'd like it.
You know what's funny, because I actually watched the first season when it first came out. I don't remember what year. And then as the seasons kept coming out, I just never watched it. But when I rewatched it, like I completely forgot what happened. Like I knew I had some sense of what was going to happen, but I didn't remember how gory it was, or like how violent it could be. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, even season 2, I enjoyed the characters and the dynamic. So I think I'm gonna have to keep watching season 3 and season 4. But I mean, the first time I watched it, I remember I was in love with it. Same thing with this one, rewatching it.
Nice. Brad, I know you've watched season 1.
Yeah.
What did you think of season 2 when you got to finish it?
So okay, so I did watch season 1 literally like the day it came out.
Oh, really?
So it has been quite a while, like
Yeah.
5 years or so since I've watched it. I'm actually not a. The more I watch it, the less I liked it, to be honest.
Really?
Really?
I liked the art style to begin with, but for some reason it just started to look worse and worse. Like the more I like paid attention to like the detail of it, it has that like gritty, dark feeling, obviously, because it's Dracula.
Right.
But then I don't know. There were just some characters that just looked badly drawn as like if I looked at them, like
Mhm.
a lot of the really it's the
Priests,
minor
yeah.
characters. Yeah, just some
Yeah.
people just looked bad. And then some of the
Like
fight scenes,
priests.
which were my favorite parts, were the actual fight scenes. The animations were really good in some of them, and then in other ones, it just looked real choppy. It just looked real.
Yeah.
I don't know, just real.
Well,
not
yeah, an
real.
example of that, what I think looked a little bit choppy, is when he went in to the catacombs and he fought the Cyclops.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that
Now-
it was their first animation too. Was Castlevania when they first did it, because it was supposed to be a movie. The first 4 episodes were supposed to be a film, and then I think Netflix said, "Hey,
I can see that.
can we break it into a series?" And they said, "Okay." So they just took the movie, broke it down to 4, and
Because I
then
was wondering why it was only 4 episodes.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
now, like with like the fire animation in the first episode or whatever, when he like his face is in the
Mhm.
fire, that looked really cool. I was like, that was really really awesome. I really liked the way they depicted Dracula in the
Mhm.
first season. Right, they really made you feel bad for him. Right,
Right.
like it's like, man,
They killed my wife.
like I don't like the fact that you're doing what you're doing, but I get it. Right, it's like okay, right.
Brad's sitting there brooding in a corner with a cape on. Yeah.
season two, he just becomes completely irrelevant. He's just like, do
Well-
whatever, just kill everyone.
Well, the
Just-
thing with him is like,
I'm just-
and
I'm
Godbrand
just
mentioned this in season 2, is like he's trying to kill himself. Every character is like well aware that Dracula's not. He's not in
Yeah,
it for
and-
war, dude. He's waiting for
wouldn't-
someone to show up and kill him. That's the problem.
But it was just like in the first season, I was like, it's Dracula, it's cool. I'm gonna see Dracula, and then he's just like a statue the entire second season.
Until you see him fucking fight the 3 and absolutely
yeah.
beat the shit out of them.
Well, yeah, because it's Dracula. But once
Yeah.
again, at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready for you to not be Dracula anymore. right? I'm ready for you to be Dracula Jr.
I think we need to talk about character development with you and why you missed a fucking point. No,
I want you to be Dracula Jr.
It was all right. Once again, there were a few scenes where I'm not a fan of the human
Animation.
mutilation. That's just
Oh.
not a
Yeah, I
thing
was wondering how you feel about that because they go
There's-
hard as fuck in like season 2 with
I
some
was
of the
also
Yeah.
I was
chopping
squeamy.
people to pieces and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I was
And
squeamy.
it's not it was over fast enough. Even in season 1 there was, you
Mhm.
know, the original massacre, you know, and it was, once again, it was only 30 seconds, and then in the second season when Godbrand, you know, went out to feed or whatever, and he
Mhm.
massacred the village, and then
You mean
later on-
he was having that dream that he did it and stuff like that, or you mean like when he
Yeah.
actually went
Yeah.
out? Yeah. There's like 2
Yeah.
scenes where he had a dream where he's like fantasizing about himself and his escapades. Which, by the way, if you don't know, that's Peter Stormare, who is like I love
You
him.
can tell with his voice.
Yeah, I love it. And that's
but I mean, it's still, you know, I like Alucard, and I felt like some of the dialogue between him and Trevor was like, the banter was just forced to me. I don't know.
Some of it
didn't
was,
seem
yeah.
very. It just didn't seem very. Some of it was funny. Like, some of it was like, "Oh, that was funny," but then some of it was just like they're trying to do one-liners against each other constantly.
They don't like each other
after a
at
point,
first.
yeah. But you know,
Yeah.
I do like the Morning Star. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing, was
The Morning
Trevor
Star.
using the
When he gets the
Morning
whip
Star.
and fucking hits somebody with it, and you're like, oh, they exploded. What the fuck? Because I think you get the Morning Star early in the game too, and it's like you just hit them and they die. I'm like, oh, that's lame. And then it's like they explode. I'm like, oh my god, they're fucking like.
You're like, wait a minute.
this is an amazing ass weapon. Yeah, I think there was like, it was weird because like at first there's like inconsistencies, but I enjoy the entire story of like watching, because my expectation is like when you take a game that literally like the plot is super simple and then you add layers to it, it's really hard to do so because you can absolutely fucking fail with every character. But like I like Sypha. I think she's fucking fantastic. And like if you watch season 3 and 4, she is literally the most powerful character in like the entire series. She fucks everybody up. There's an entire fight I think in like season 3 where she's like using all of her magical abilities at once and just like nuking like high level enemies. I was like,
Avatar.
Ultra Beam.
it was awesome. Trevor, I think like it's really funny because like basically Trevor's probably, I want to say, like one of the weaker Belmonts in terms of like abilities. He's just physical, and I tend to forget that like these are supposed to be like 20-year-old characters, right?
Mhm.
All of them are supposed to be like really young, except for I think Richard Armitage. He voices Trevor, and he's like in his 40s, and he sounds like a 40-year-old when he
Yeah,
voices
sounds
him. I'm like,
old.
god damn, dude, you sound busted.
I know, because I was thinking the whole time, I was like, how old is Trevor?
That's what I'm saying. Like that, like the way they, not only the way they drew him, but like the way he sounds. I'm like, Trevor sounds like he's in his 40s. Like this has been a bad run for him in his 20s and stuff like that. Yeah, it's interesting because they did such a good job of building the world up. And I don't disagree with you. Like I think that they tried not to be anime, right? They tried to have like its own kind of art style. And it's really, you know, you either love it or you hate it. But like when they animate the characters, like the main characters, they look fine. They look great. Like I think it's perfectly fine. But like when they animate like some of the other vampires, you're just like, okay, yeah, this general's just fucking here, bro. Get out of here. That type of shit, right? Unless you see like Carmilla, who's like fucking amazing in like every scene. That woman, I don't know why. I love her so much as a character. She's just an absolute bitch to everyone for no reason.
When the castle teleported away, she's just like,
What the
just happened?
fuck just happened, man? Yeah, no, she's like a what's interesting is that so like Isaac and Hector are pretty much like two characters from a side game, from a side Castlevania game. And Forge Masters were always like an interesting theme because in the video game that's what you do. You fight, and then you can also like summon demons and familiars and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder how they're gonna have these two characters here because you know you have these two humans waging war, and it's clear that fucking Isaac is an absolute monster, and Hector's like this like really sweet guy who just, you know, once again he thinks of everything like as a pet. He has like a dead pug, which is like the most weird thing, right? And then and I was like, I wonder how they're going to integrate these characters, and I thought they did it really well. So like if you are a fan of the game, pretty much every character you wanted to see from like the first 3 to 4 games plus like extra, they threw them in there pretty well. But you know, some characters were just kind of like to the side. Like I think a lot of people thought Godbrand was going to be a major character, and then Godbrand was like, he got fucking absolutely murdered by Isaac, dude, in like the worst way possible. Jesus. But also the other thing is like, this show is like super quotable because of Dracula. Like the shit he says constantly just feel like I think he's played by Graham McTavish. For those who don't know, Graham McTavish, I think most recently was in like House of the Dragon. He's just a fantastic actor overall. But I couldn't recognize him because he has like I was like, well, who the fuck is voicing Dracula? Because they're killing this role right now. Every time he like made it like when he was yelling at Alucard in the beginning, saying like there are no more innocents. When he's threatening Godbrand, that was fucking terrifying. When he's like little Godbrand, I was like, and it really kind of showed you how big Dracula was in comparison to the other vampires. So it made you kind of question like, what type of vampire is Dracula? Because
a big one.
Yeah, he's got to be like a lord or something. Because there's no fucking way. Like I don't think any of them would have stood a chance against him. Like when they showed him,
Godbrand was a Viking.
Yeah, I know he's a Viking. Yeah.
And he likes to make things he likes to make boats out of things. So, you know Dracula's a big guy.
Yeah, I just for every time like he's on like Dracula's like presence, even though I agree with you, like sometimes it just felt like he was just kind of there to kind of build other characters up. But when he was talking, it was like you had to stop and listen because he was a threat to everyone. Especially when they showed that final fight, and it showed like he was not impressed by anybody. That was like the part you're talking about, a half-starved Dracula, right? Who pretty much has not eaten. He's pretty much dying at that point. And he's absolutely kind of beating the shit out of 3 really relatively healthy kids, you know? And they're trying their hardest. And like, I love the fact that he's just like tanking shots, like getting punched by Trevor in the face. He's like, "You must be the Belmont." I was like, what the fuck, man? How bad would you feel? Because if you're Trevor, you just fucked up an entire whole bunch of like horde of vampires. And then Dracula's just like, "Are you hitting me right now? It's cute."
I've been like, I'm not a Belmont.
I would have been like, "No, I'm good, man."
Nah, not me. I'm Belmont with a V.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree.
Velveeta.
Yeah. I feel like they saved up like the bulk of the budget for that final or the second to last episode for that fight, because that entire fight was like fantastic, kind of showcasing like how strong, what Alucard was capable of, like how smart Trevor was. Like I love the way he uses the whip. Like it's very creative.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
He doesn't just like swing it like in the game and then let it dangle there. He just gotta swing the chain around. He's actually kicking into it, and then you have
he whipped one so hard he knocked his eyeball out.
Dude, that was gruesome. Oh, the finger. Oh,
I love how like they're in that alleyway, and he's like, I think he's legitimately trying to knock the weapon out, but he cuts that dude's finger off. He's like, "How's your finger?" I was like,
I'm a little rusty.
"Yeah, I'm a little rusty, but I'm stone cold sober." Jack, what was your favorite? What was that, Brad?
I was saying then later on the dude takes an arrow to the other eye.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
It was so funny because before that, when he had him in like the hold or whatever, I was like, "Get his other eye," and then the arrow hit him. I was like, "You could do that too."
Jack, what was your favorite scene in the show?
I think when you finally see what Sypha can do,
yeah,
and how she helped them trap the minions or whatever, and then he leads the town to killing the minions. Yeah. That's when you actually see how good he is at killing these vampires.
Oh, okay, bulls, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap, what about you? What was your favorite scene so far?
I think other than like the really big fight, I enjoyed like the first scene, or like the first fight between Trevor and Alucard. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Alucard.
Alucard. Yeah, Alucard. I really liked that when they first meet him. And
they're shit talking each other.
And you have Sypha in the back like, "No, don't do it." And Trevor's like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna do it."
He's like, it's like, "We haven't seen what Dracula looks like or inside of his castle, but all the books say this is it. You sleep in the coffin. I'm going to fuck you up."
He's like, 1 + 1 is 2. But I just like, because also we were talking about like the whip techniques. Like you really see a lot of that in that fight, which I enjoyed.
And also he tries to knee Alucard in the groin. He's like, "Please,
and
is this a bar fight?" He headbutts him.
Yeah,
Keep it classy. Keep it classy. I was like, all right.
Brad, what about you?
Well, they took my first 2 options.
You got a bunch of them.
That's where you're wrong, Bucko. I actually really liked when Trevor went to defend the cove or the treasure cove thing when he went upstairs and fought all the monsters by himself. That was really cool. The first fight.
That was amazing because they actually introduced like almost all of the Castlevania monsters, in the games.
Mm.
And I love the fact that I really wanted to know like how he was going to kill that one big fucking, I don't know, what would you call it, like a man bat or something like that? I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah. With
But he
the
like
skull
he
face.
like stabbed it in the fucking throat. No, the really big one on the bridge. Like
Oh.
when he like threw his sword at his throat and then tried to throw his whip out of it, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude? That was brutal. Yo, the skull face one was amazing.
Well, it's funny because he was like, I have a stick. He starts beating it.
And what's insane is like how quick his hands are too. Like he's beating the absolute shit out of like those monsters.
Oh yeah.
My favorite scene, honestly, was I texted Jack the quote, but it was the scene in the church with the priest or the bishop
Oh,
and the
yeah,
fucking
fuck that
monster,
guy,
and they're
bro.
having that
Oh,
conversation.
yeah.
He's like,
I love
he's like,
him.
lies in your house of God.
Yeah.
He's like looking around. I was like, the sarcasm in that
Yeah.
monster's voice is fucking terrifying, dude.
hmm
Like, let me
God
kiss.
doesn't love
He's
you.
like, let me kiss you.
But I do. Yeah. It's
Fucking-
like, let me kiss you.
and the fucked up part was like, the bishop's body was reanimated and then made to fucking bless the river and stuff like that. That set up the initial brawl for like Carmilla and stuff like that. I thought that, I was like, dude, that sucks for that guy, man. Like you
Fuck
were
that guy.
a humongous piece of shit in life. And
Literally the reason all of this happened.
literally the reason all you had to do was like just tell Dracula the truth, like don't be an asshole, don't do this Inquisition, right?
Mhm.
There's, it's just, I think that as far as like, because when I went in, I really didn't have expectations for me when I first watched the show, and then I remember just binging it and then being like, holy shit, this is way better than I expected. And I think that like with it's kind of weird because you take a property that is as simple as Castlevania, and then because every game is like you defeat Dracula or you defeat some semblance of Dracula or death, and then you take it and you make it like amazing somehow. I don't know how you do that, right? You have to have like really good show writers, and I thought that like because you guys haven't watched season 3 and 4, but when you get into season 3, it's like, where do you go from here? But really all you do is just pick up with other characters and see how they're like getting on, with like, I think the interesting part is that like they introduce another major character from the games who is probably one of my favorite characters. Like when they introduce him, like he's also, I can't remember who he's voiced by, but his name's Saint Germain, and he's like this time traveler. And it's interesting seeing him and Sypha and Trevor react to one another. It's also seeing like how Trevor and Sypha are like trying to get along and like watching them kind of fail in that regard. The most depressing part is like if you want to know how Alucard's getting along, it's not well. Like he struggles. There's this really funny scene where he creates dolls of Trevor and Sypha and starts talking to them, right, to kind of like manage his psyche. And he goes, as he's talking, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm becoming Trevor." This is like his worst nightmare. But I'm kind of shocked because I wonder what everyone's expectations were when you heard that there was a Castlevania, adaptation. Jack, I'm pretty sure you didn't, you probably just saw it on Netflix. But Brad, you knew about the games. Like, what were you expecting when it eventually dropped?
So, well, because it originally dropped with 4 episodes, so I was just like, yeah, like it pretty much is a movie, right? It's not like it wasn't a. I was actually on a drill weekend when it dropped, and I was driving back home, and it was like a 2.5 hour drive. And typically, when I'm on the major highway, I would put something on my phone and just kind of like listen and mildly watch it as I'm just driving for an hour and a half down the road. And I got like 20 minutes in, and I go, I have to stop because I need to actually pay attention because like a lot of things are happening very quickly. I was like, and it looks really cool. So I've never been huge in like vampire Dracula stuff. It's never been a huge fascination of mine as far as like fantasy stuff goes. But Castlevania's kind of been a staple genre, kind of defining video game. So I mean,
Right. It's Konami's big game, and they don't make
I was-
games anymore,
I was waiting for like a 2 episode stint where Trevor was just like running through doors into like more rooms and just fighting things, and then him trying to figure out a way to jump higher to get to somewhere else.
Doing a double
And,
jump.
like,
Huh.
yeah. Like I was waiting for that, it just never happened. I'm like, dang it, man, they're really killing the video game vibes here.
Not a fan of that.
I need him to backtrack through like the same room like 12 times.
Oh yeah,
figure out a puzzle.
get lost in the castle.
Bro, the one scene where him and Sypha kept falling, I was like, bro, how much farther they're gonna
Oh
freaking
yeah.
fall? I was like, what? I was like, it actually felt like a video game. I was like, what is this?
Oh yeah. Chibi, Jack. I mean, Jack mostly like for this part. When I talked to you about it, like I kind of wanted you to watch this on the side for a long time. I was like, dude, pick it up eventually. Like, what were your expectations going in? Did you have any? Were you just hoping it was a good show?
I was honestly, I was hoping it was a good show. I didn't know much about the game. I figured, all right, Castlevania, it's vampires. But I had no expectations on how the story was gonna be, how it ties to the actual game.
Yeah, just essentially
what
just
elements
characters,
they brought
bro.
from the game. Yeah, it's
Just characters.
So it sounds like the story is completely separate.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, it's I didn't have many expectations.
What are you gonna say, Brad?
I was kind of sad that Nicolas Cage didn't voice Dracula.
Oh, like in Renfield and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that movie! That movie's so fucking stupid.
It is.
I enjoyed it so much though.
It was fun.
That was
Renfield,
a gory ass movie.
Renfield
too.
was a fun movie. Dude, they have so many weird scenes.
Yeah.
JB, what were your expectations going in when you first heard about it?
Are we talking about like my original watch through or like the one now?
Right now, because you've just watched season 2 and you haven't seen it.
Yeah, true. I really don't know. I just knew it would be dark, which isn't always my favorite thing. I just knew it wouldn't. I'm trying to say because I didn't think I wouldn't like it. I knew I would like it, but I was more so worried like it'd be too dark for me. But I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, I was kind of.
I'm not a big like dark and gory person, but I think they did a good mix of like drama.
I was a bit concerned when the first episode dropped. I was like, "Fuck, man, Chibi's probably gonna drop this if she sees the baby get taken."
Oh no, I thought that was funny, bro. I'm telling you, as long as animals do not get hurt, we're vibing.
Yeah, I mean that means Hector has to be like your favorite character because he revives animals and puppies and stuff. He's also voiced by like Theo James, I think, who is a good actor. I'm shocked.
Oh, I love Theo James. I had to think about it.
I'm shocked by the cast. If you actually look it up, there's a lot of well-known actors.
It's a good cast.
If you don't know who Richard Armitage is, I think like he's best known for The Hobbit, right? I think he's the main dwarf, I believe. I think he was supposed to play Aragorn too, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the story about it, but Richard Armitage has always been like a very, very good actor. I don't know who Sypha is voiced by. I think she's just. I mean, that's probably Castlevania is probably her biggest
thing that she's
show.
on.
But Graham McTavish, I was like, dude, I love this guy. This guy can fucking act. And I was like, holy shit.
I need to look up
the Saint of Killers on Preacher.
Yeah, yes, he is, dude. Yes, dude. God, Preacher's such a good show. Fuck. I'd make people watch that, but they'd think I'm weird, bro, because that show is so awkward, dude.
It was like I watched like the first 3 episodes, and I was like, "This is going to be an amazing show." And then it just got really weird for a few episodes, and I'm like, "All right, I'm not sure if I'm following this or not." And
That's
I watched all the way through, and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, Preacher is that's such a weird fucking show, man. Like I remember the graphic novel, and I was like, "There's no way this is gonna get a good TV series."
Oh,
and
they
like,
even got Jason Isaacs.
Yep, Jason Isaacs in it too. Yep. I'm serious. Like they took like an all-star cast and fucking crushed it. And I'm kind of glad. And this is like one of the things I kept kind of harping on, especially when it came to video game adaptations, was we do not need everything to be live action.
Yeah.
They would have fucking fumbled this show if it was.
I just don't know how you could have done this live action. You know what I mean? Like some things are just not meant for live action adaptations.
Because I mean, you have to like listen to like how people react to certain castings and stuff like that. They don't even give it a shot. Like the moment they see like, who's taking over for Geralt, and The Witcher, Brad, who is it? It's one of the Hemsworth kids.
Yeah, it was the Hemsworth brother.
Yeah, the youngest one, right? Liam.
Chris.
Oh, the one we don't like.
Everyone everyone got upset. And I'm like, dude, Liam Hemsworth, I know he's not like, he wasn't a good actor when he first. I know like he wasn't a good actor when he first started, but he's gotten better. But I understand like the appeal of Henry Cavill, right? I get that.
Henry Cavill.
You know what I mean?
Primarily because he understood the lore and.
Well, that's why he's doing.
He's a huge gaming
huge
nerd.
gamer. Cool. That's why he's doing Warhammer for Amazon whenever that comes out.
Wait, why did he not go back to
The Witcher? Because they were disrespecting They pretty
the
much like
story.
they respected the games and the books. So basically, The
Yep.
Witcher is initially
He was
based off a
fighting
book
with the
series.
writers.
Yeah.
I just want to point this out, by the way. The book series is not fucking great. Like, it's not like the games are actually probably a better representation of Geralt and
But
the
not the first
Witchers.
one.
Not the
Not the
first,
first
not the first one. The first one sucks. Second one's pretty good, and then the third one's elite. It's just an amazing kind of entire ring around. And then like so, what Henry Cavill wanted was it to be true to the games and novels, and then it ended up not being that way because most people who see a video game adaptation think that most people are stupid or gamers are just immature and they don't have, they're not going to like look too deep into it, and it's like it just kind of falls apart. When you have someone like Adi Shankar for Castlevania, he really respected the franchise, he respected the characters, and then immediately pivoted to like, working with the writing team, created this like really in-depth story, which was super shocking because like everything connects so perfectly from seasons 1 through 4, and there are a couple of surprising things that happen in 3 and 4 that they mention and talk about that they actually follow through with, and it works out perfectly well. So like if you were wondering like how all these characters like grow and develop and whether or not they have like any real breakthroughs or anything like that, they do 100%, because season 1 was kind of like the experiment, right? Like if season 1 hit, which it did, thankfully, season 2 was going to be like more, us setting up like, but getting the world building, having like a big climactic showdown with Dracula, learning about the different vampires, how like clearly they don't like one another, right? How there's like clear separations there. I thought that was like an interesting dynamic to have, like throw in all these different politics between like you have like Godbrand, who's like this, most of the generals just like, we're here to fight and kill people, hell yeah, and then Carmilla's like, I want power. Right. And in season 3 you get to go to like her homeland, and then you get to meet the other vampire council, and they're awesome, and you get to meet like the different personalities. One of them is a straight up like warrior, and they have like specific armor created to like thrive in the daylight. So like when they have to go fight, she puts on this fucking armor. And if you ever watched or read Berserk, like Guts in his armor, it looks just like that, and it allows her to fight in the sun. You also get to see the humans fighting the vampires for like for territory and stuff like that, which is awesome. Like they really do expand upon like the entire world, and it was very interesting. I was very surprised. But once again, when you have someone who's not insulting their audience, right, which is what has been the problem with video game adaptations up until this point, was like you'd have like the Mario Brothers, remember that check back in the day? You're just like, this was not good. Dennis Hopper is an amazing, like you had a bunch of great actors in that film. It was just a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
Then you had like Double Dragon. People don't remember that movie. I do. It was not good in the slightest. That was dog shit. And it just kept going like from bad to bad to bad. And you're just like, dude, please, And then somewhere along the line, people went like, instead of making movies, let's make shows. And then Castlevania came out, killed it. Konami, who has not touched that property since I want to say 2013 or something like that, because they've pretty much pivoted away from video games, gave their blessing, and then fucking let them do whatever they want with the actual show. And it turned out great. Now, did I want them to kind of immediately jump into Symphony of the Night, which is one of the most well-known Castlevania games, one of the most respected like games in its genre, because it really pushed out what's called the Metroidvania genre, which is something that me and Brad like. Like, did I want them to do Symphony of the Night next? No, but they're doing it, and Castlevania Nocturne is solid, but it does have some writing issues. But yeah, now we've gotten like what we've gotten: Super Mario Brothers, we've gotten The Last of Us, we've gotten Fallout. So Castlevania was kind of like that. Like, I think it was kind of one of those points where like, look, you can trust the right people. We still don't have like, I want to think like do we still have misses? What's like the last video game adaptation miss, Brad? Like, what do you think? I'm trying to think like, oh, Resident Evil. They still can't do it. I still can't make a good Resident Evil fucking show. I don't understand. They'll do good 3D stuff with Resident Evil, but for the most part, it just...
I beg to differ.
What?
We're about to see it.
I'm about to step on this motherfucker's butt. But Lord.
I was gonna say Dragon Ball Z, but I guess that's
well.
anime.
I mean, yeah, it's anime.
There was a bunch of games, but
yeah, 90s had like the Dragon Ball games, and then that type of stuff. But it just feels like we finally turned a corner. And then there's Arcane, which is like, I know nothing about League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Chibi, I'm assuming you played. I never tried to touch it. I know Brett.
I play a lot of TFT, but I
Oh.
played League a little bit. But I mean, they have similar
Net,
characters.
I watch people play it. I had a buddy of mine when I was at Balboa and I was working there. He was like trying to like literally get me into the game, and I was like, I don't understand how this is entertaining. And then I went and watched the show, and I was like, God, I love this show. I don't want to play the game in the slightest. This is amazing. And I think me and Brad talked about, like, it's probably one of the best art styles we've ever seen.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I think it won a Golden Globe. It won multiple BAFTAs. It's probably next to like The Last of Us, probably one of the most accomplished video game adaptations. But I want to know the most important thing about Castlevania real quick. Did Dracula do anything wrong?
No.
Check.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Was Dracula wrong? Come on now.
Dude was heartbroken. And they went cold-blooded with the murder of
I
her.
know,
She was
dude.
on fire while
And poor
alive.
lady was just like, they
All
don't
she-
know what they're
yeah.
doing. Like, until the
All she
end.
ever wanted to do was help people.
Exactly.
And they fucking killed her. I'd be the same.
Brad, no, watch
Nah.
Brad. Brad's like this. Witch.
Okay.
Witch.
I mean, I'm not justifying her
Yeah,
death.
yeah,
He's
you
justifying
are.
it.
He's
You
justifying.
motherfucker.
She was being real suspicious. she was like, please don't hurt me, or y'all all die.
Brad's the dude with
What?
Brad's the priest with like the slick back hair and the beard. He's like, she's like, what is that? Like seeing the lab materials, right? The lab stuff like spin. He's like, what is that? It's moving on its own. Witchcraft.
No, I
He's
would be
like,
like,
but I
I'd be
also
like, wait a minute,
dabble
let's
in it
investigate this
myself.
first. She's saying a lot of scary things. I would just want to make sure before we like really just. I'd be like, come on, guys, let's.
Well, she knew that Dracula was gonna fuck him up.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
It was just because she never named who it was, right?
Well,
And
yeah, of
she
course
was
not.
like,
Just call him Vlad
for-
Tepes, right? That's his name.
right,
That's
so
who he is.
forget or like forgive them. They don't know what they do, right? That sounds very like biblical. Like it sounds like she's trying to talk.
Brother, it was fucking biblical. Like, did you not see him rain fire down?
Oh yeah, but that was the thing. It's like she definitely didn't deserve it, right? She seemed very nice, a very nice lady, and she was doing good things. But she didn't help her case.
Why does it sound like Brad would be like the dude who's like, when they're investigating him, like, why did you do what you did? Look, man, she seemed like a nice lady, but she was saying some
He's not
scary
gonna-
shit.
No,
all right?
that's him. I was gonna.
I'm
say
not
the
lying to you
same
guys.
thing.
Like, I saw that thing spin around on me, and I was like, get the fuck back. All right? That's witchcraft. The devil is in the house.
We just got a burner.
we got to light her on fire, man. That's just what the Inquisition says.
Gotta get the devil out.
You gonna go against the Pope?
I sure ain't.
Sure. I ain't gonna burn. Someone else gonna do it for me, brother. Roll Tide.
Oh my God. Roll Tide. Jesus Christ.
But I mean, it was really but it's unanimous, dude. Like everyone I've talked to about this, anyone who's watched it is like, Dracula did nothing wrong.
But
Like-
also,
I'm not
I
saying
was
he
gonna.
didn't do
Dracula made a
anything
good point, like because you can make that argument. It's just like those people didn't really know how to say anything. Well, there were so many people there. It could take one person to be like, "This is wrong."
And Dracula did say that too.
Nobody said any. That's what I'm saying.
And
Yeah.
That was a good point. you
But
made.
here's the
burned
thing
too.
too is
Yeah, they would have burned too.
entire
They would have burned that
fucking-
old lady, dude. She didn't want to eat any more leaves.
He gave them an entire fucking year to repent from what they did.
Listen.
and then they're like, we're gonna celebrate the year
You-
that we fucking killed her.
You people are fucking high. By the way, I was like, you people are fucking high. The moment I see a flaming face appear
Mhm.
and they
That's
say,
not an
No,
illusion.
never
you've
do it
got
again.
1 year, I'm packed the next day, bro. I'm out this
I'm going
fucking
to a
place.
different
I
country.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm not letting that. It wasn't an imagination, dude. I wasn't hallucinating.
We
I
were
don't-
all not tripping.
I don't remember taking shrooms that day, but but you know what I'm saying?
We just burned a quote unquote witch.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Can you imagine? You're like, oh shit, she was right.
I know, right?
Oh, she wasn't fucking playing, dude. You got us all killed.
She didn't fucking say she was
I'd have
dating
been like, burn the
Dracula.
Pope. burn
You,
the Pope.
hey, bro. Like when we do this, when we burn people down, you didn't say shit was real. I was just thinking we're gonna get a dinner and a show. You know what I mean? Have a little wine, celebrate a little bit. You know, we're having a good time, right? We're burning bad people, and you fucking Dracula appears. You lied to me.
A myth?
Jack, can you look up who the bishop was voiced by? Was that Jason Isaac? Like, dude, that dude
was
crushed that fucking role.
Mhm.
That he just came off as the most arrogant dick.
what was the bishop's name?
I don't remember his name.
Oh, the bishop.
Yeah, the
Matt
bishop.
Frewer.
Matt Frewer. Dude, that guy crushed it. Anytime he said God, he just like he like held that. He held it. He's like, and,
So I will think he went too far in saying that everyone needs to be eliminated. If he would have said the church has to go, right, like eliminate anyone affiliated with X, Y, and Z, right, I would have been like, let's go, let's do it.
here's my thought process on that, right? Okay, so Dracula up until that point had disappeared, right? He had just been kind of like living randomly and peacefully, rather. So he wasn't bothering anybody. He wasn't trying to fight or kill anybody. Lisa shows up, and
Nope.
instead of like trying to like antagonize him, right? He shows interest because she's not afraid of him, and she's trying to treat him as a person. Dude, you got fucking nuts on you, dude. If you're like, first off, you're actively searching for Dracula, right?
Mhm.
You're actively searching for his castle, which can roam because of his magic and stuff like that. Like, you know what this dude is. This dude is a fucking monster. He's probably the largest vampire, strongest vampire, whatever. Maybe like the progenitor. And you're just like, hey, can I borrow some science from you? You're like, the fuck?
I need some knowledge real quick.
It's like, darling, I don't even know your fucking name. I've known you for 2 minutes. You insulted me. Like, what's going on?
And then I like how she said, we need to reteach you manners.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, like, he had this person, like, you're telling me that this woman convinced Dracula to travel the world like a person, like a man.
Mhm.
Like, this fucking dude could turn into a bat and fly.
He hated
And
people before.
and you're gonna, and like, he did that, spared the old lady, said, look, this is like my one act of kindness. I gave you guys a chance. And then on top of that, the church then fucking mocked him. Like, you're not real.
Yeah.
I'm in front of you, and you're saying I'm not real. Like, are you fucking high? And the dude's like, she was a witch. Satan. He's like, brother, Dracula's right here. I'm gonna burn. And on top of that, he gives you a year to leave. And I'm like, and Project's right, like, and you celebrate instead of fucking leaving? I was like, dude, the moment I see that face, I'm like, that's not good.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, right.
Like, what? How do we make amends for this? You can't resurrect her? Like, what do we have to do to get to this point, And it was bad because he goes back to his castle, says, I need 1 year. I have to gather this army. Alucard shows up. Alucard, by the way, who's insanely powerful, is also just a kid. And Alucard gets one-shotted.
He's like 20 years old.
Yeah,
right?
he gets fucking one-shotted just immediately. He's like, shut the fuck up, go to sleep. He sent him to his room, right? That room he created for him. Go to sleep. And then a year later, he pops up. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, you guys are still here. What the fuck? I'm pretty sure he was expecting just the church to be there because, at the time, the church was, like, really arrogant. That's why I think he was thinking. He was like, why is everyone still here? What the fuck? You guys didn't trust me? He's like, kill everyone. Like, everyone just came.
Also, the like trigger to open his coffin was like super random. It was just like a tile on the floor.
Yeah.
Open. I'm like, what were the chances of them not stepping on that? And they're just like looking around everywhere.
Well, I mean, like, knowing Trevor, he probably would have been stupid and stumbled into it anyway. Like, the best part about Trevor is, like, the dude's a meathead. But it's really funny, like, the time when he was down the in the Belmont, and they're like he took that piece of wood and tried to block the door. He's like, that's not working. And then you're like, and then that kind of it makes everyone feel like the dude's just an idiot. And then you watch him fight, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, he's an actual Belmont. Belmonts are incredibly fucking capable. But no, dude, everyone I've talked to, everyone just says the same thing. Dracula did nothing wrong. Like, the church was in the wrong. They shouldn't have fucked with that man.
No. It was funny because I was telling Colby's brother that I was watching this show, and he goes, yeah, Dracula was right. And that's all he said. He said Dracula was right and walked away.
Dude,
and I was like, what?
I mean, even if you listen to, like, Hector and Isaac's story, like, it's fucking terrible, right? Isaac just wanted to fucking help somebody, and they mangled him. And I'm like, are you shitting me, dude? Like, no wonder Isaac's, like, the way he is. And then, but, like, if you watch season 3 and season 4, and he, like, kind of just takes on his own character, it's one of the best, like, character arcs I've ever seen in a show. and they did it in 4 seasons. It didn't take 20 seasons of an anime, you know, to get to that point, like to make the character likable. Hector's kind of the same way. Like Hector sees like the error of his ways, and he's like, "Oh shit, I really fucked up trusting Carmilla." Who, like, to be fair, Carmilla was kind of, you know, she's just fucking super cunning and smart, and like not like the other dudes who just kind of thought with like their stomach.
Manipulative.
Yeah. Oh, dude, she's great. I love her voice. I love whoever her voice actress is. She's fucking fantastic too. Just brutal the entire time.
Jamie Murray.
Oh, she killed that. Because like especially when you see Carmilla in like season 3, season 4, dude. In season 4, she's fucking fantastic. Like the arrogance of this woman, even like at the doors of like knowing that shit is just completely gone off the rails, is like great. She's like completely that's like once you like the thing is like it's interesting because when you take Dracula away, you take that really huge plot point. The question is, where do you go from here, and can you make it as good as the second season? And they do so, and it's very shocking that they can do that. That like is a testament to the writers, because you know, and I kind of agree with Brad. Like when you took away like Dracula and you have him like sitting there brooding and stuff like that, it's like, so what are we, or who are we focusing on? And then they had all these other characters, and by the time you got to like episode 6, you knew who all the main players were. And then when they started to focus on those characters, you're like, oh, okay. And then you get to season 3 and season 4, and it's like they're not the same people they were in season 2. They're far better. And it's just fascinating to see where they go and like where their individual journeys take them, because a lot of people who watched season 3 was like, season 3 felt like a kind of a transition. You know, I can't remember the show, but it feels like a bridge to like the actual end. That's essentially what that was. Like it was a nice little setup, but that's just how Castlevania rolls. Like it's just fantastic when you get to the end and you're like, damn, what do I do now? Right? People were like, where's the next video game adaptation? I believe Mario Brothers came out afterwards, and people were like, fine, you know. But now we're getting like, you know, what's next? We get Arcane season 2 this year. We're getting I think they're making a Legend of Zelda, but they're making it live action. Somebody fucking tell me why, dude. Why? Link doesn't talk. Brad, Link doesn't talk.
He's about to.
Yeah. No, if he doesn't say here the entire time, yeah.
He's just got a speech impediment.
If he does not, dude, if he's not the silent protagonist the entire time, I'd be fucking furious. He had a speech impediment. He's like,
It'd be funny if they give him like an inner monologue though.
Oh, that'd be great. He's like, why the fuck is she yelling at me, bro? Like, I don't. Does she not know who I am? I'm the fucking hero. Like, I got the master sword. I want to see how I'm curious to see how they kind of adapt that. But there's like so many other shows that. What's up?
I'm ready for BioShock.
Dude, BioShock should be a fucking layup. Straight up.
It should be.
Should be.
Should
Nah,
be.
nah, you know, Brad, listen. Shut up, Brad. You know I'm right. The first that it's a show, right? Or is it a movie? It's
gonna be a show.
Okay, good.
It's I think Paramount or
oh god, they made Halo.
Paramount or Amazon. I think
oh god.
Double check.
If you have not played BioShock, do
Great
so.
game.
Cheap, have you played BioShock?
Would you?
BioShock is known for probably the biggest turnaround for like it really took the image of what video games were as a medium for narratives and like flipped everything on its head.
Ooh,
Because that has one of the greatest twists in history. Like
it's gonna be Netflix.
Netflix
It has a good twist. You said.
has one of the best twists I've ever seen, like ever in a game. And like the thing was like they tried. It's weird because I people hated on BioShock 2. I mean it's not as impactful as 1. And then BioShock Infinite came out, and I don't know, people still kind of like hate on the ending of it because it does a lot of time jumping stuff, and as everyone knows, like when you start going like alternate universes and time hopping, that can be super fucking messy.
Yeah.
But
I just hope that they stick to the true. They stay true to the horror.
you do not have to deviate. You don't. Like if you like The Last of Us barely deviated except for like the opening scene, which by the way, The Last of Us like first 2 episodes have like the best opening scenes I've ever seen. Like there's this perfect conversation that they have with this biologist, and they ask her, she's like legitimately the like world renowned, you know, #1 in her country. They say, look, you know, we've been infiltrated. Like the virus has hit us. Like, what do we do? And she sits there. She puts her tea down. She says, "Bomb." And they're like, "Bomb what?" Like, bomb everything. Bomb the city and the people. And I was like, fuck. Like, if she's saying that, we're screwed. Like, we are really fucked here. But with BioShock, it's a layup. You don't like, Brad, what would you change? Like, how, like, what would you adjust from like the game for BioShock? It's all written for you. You just have to just take it and then put it on screen.
The Rock.
Adapt it.
The Rock, make the Rock the Big Daddy.
Oh, please.
That'd be great, dude.
Oh my god.
He could see his eyebrow through the thing.
Oh, so it's not expected to hit streaming services until 2026 or 27.
Good. Take your time. They don't have to rush a lot.
It'll
of
be
these,
worth
man.
it.
But
It'll
like,
be worth it.
It's just curious because like they could, like I just really feel like you have certain games that should be animated, right? I think like Man, Jack's gonna be so disappointed when that movie's not good. Dude,
I'm expecting.
I already know that it's. Go ahead.
I'm expecting it to be a fun time, but a bad movie. Like I'm just that's my expectation.
It's gonna feel more like a parody.
Well, what's
I'm
frustrating is that
going
you
to
have
be
such like
fun.
like outside of Kevin Hart, like, and I'm not saying Kevin Hart can't do more serious roles or
But
can't.
he doesn't fit the
He's
role
not
of the
fucking
person
rolling,
he's
man.
playing.
Why did we
No.
get the shortest person?
No. They really missed the mark on their on who they have for actors and actresses.
It feels like they went a little bit too old with certain actors.
Well, they wanted to go big name, and they don't need to.
No.
There was one girl that people were really mad about, right? That
Siren.
was like, yeah, that her personality was completely different than how the actress portrayed it.
Tiny Tina.
Yeah, Tiny Tina. I think people were mad about that.
She better be wild. In that fucking
I mean,
movie.
you're gonna have to. That's a hard character to nail down too, because you either love Tiny Tina or you fucking hate her. There's essentially no middle ground with her. Yeah, and like I mean,
ideally you'll be playing a similar role to like Harley Quinn.
You essentially have
crazier.
You essentially have like one of the best DLCs for Borderlands 2 with Tiny Tina's thing, but it's like if you didn't like Tiny Tina and you don't like her narration, like it's just. Some people just kind of dismissed it, even though it was probably the most impactful emotionally. But like, you took so many big name actors, like Tilda Swinton, by the way, fantastic actress. She's like one of the best out there right now. She's literally like 55, 60, playing a character that looks like she should be in her 20s. Right? Mm-hmm. Roland is supposed to be like, this kind of cocky 20, 24, 25, whatever, or 30-year-old. Right? You could have had a number of actors play him, and you chose Kevin Hart. And I
Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Terry Crews.
I mean, that would have matched the age of like Tilda Swinton. That would have made kind of a little bit of sense.
So I really think they miscast Jack Black
as Claptrap.
As Claptrap,
I think he should have been Mr. Torg. I mean, seeing a muscular Jack Black, but I think he could match that energy so well.
Yeah, it just feels like you're trying to adapt, and that's that's kind of weird to go live action with this one too.
Oh yeah,
like I just don't I don't see it.
It's so like the Borderlands is so absurd. It's like, how do you make that look real?
So yeah, I mean, because you have cell shaded graphics, you know what I mean? Like it just makes sense. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like
it's a very comic booky.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just saying, like my expectations for that one are low, super low. So if it does well, good. But I just can't. But BioShock, I can't see them fucking that up unless they choose like unless they choose like Yui Boll. He comes out. For those who don't know who Yui Boll is, he's widely regarded as one of the worst directors ever, and he directed like Postal, Alone in the Dark, like a lot of really bad movies.
Who's directing?
So like when you have the right showrunner, you respect your audience. You don't get shows like Halo, which is a first season, bro. I was like, really? He takes off his helmet and he fucking betrays the Empire by trying to get laid? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? That's not who he is.
The director is Francis Lawrence.
Have you ever met a Master Chief that hasn't tried to do that?
That hasn't tried to clap cheeks?
Who has done...
the helmet stays on, bro.
He's done Red Sparrow, Constantine.
Yeah, can we get a Constantine 2, by the way?
There is one.
Dude, okay. I don't know if it's confirmed, though. I know Keanu wants to work on it, but I don't know.
No, there's a trailer for it.
There's no real trailer for it.
Is that a fan made?
It's a fan made one. The fan made ones are convincing now, dude. Like they use the thumbnail, you're like, oh my god, is this serious? Like, oh, it's just bullshit. It's just a bunch of
I mean,
weird splices.
it's on IMDb.
I hope so.
I'm looking at a list of like, to be announced, titles.
Need for Speed, baby, bring it back. Bring back Aaron Paul. He was in the movie. Come on.
There's only so much you can do with car films.
Disco
And you end up like fucking
what do you mean,
Fast and
dude?
Furious.
You don't want to see fucking you want to see Vin
Fucking-
Diesel show up? He's like family.
Family. All you need is family.
Somehow he's jumping off a 100-mile-per-hour car onto a tank and not taking any damage, not breaking every bone in his body.
So off the fucking wall.
Jason Statham is the bad guy, but he's the good guy, but he's the bad guy again. You know what I mean? What was the other one? What do we got?
Oh, we got everything.
They need to reduce. Fucking McFarlane needs to go ahead and greenlight Spawn.
Oh, dude, I thought
Spawn remake.
So by the way, if you haven't watched, like, I really a couple years ago they announced like a Spawn reboot and it was gonna star Jamie Foxx, and I was about that shit. I was like, yes, dude, it's gonna be amazing. And then they never did anything with it, which makes me very sad. What other adaptations, Brad, are upcoming potentially?
What was a lot of them are just like to be announced
That we can force Chibi to watch.
So Borderlands, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Enjoyed the first one. I don't think I've watched.
Sonic the Hedgehog's not bad too. Yeah. The Knuckles. Hey, by the way, the Knuckles TV show on Paramount, dude, fucking hilarious, dude. Idris Elba kills that. He's so stupid.
Dude, Idris Elba is amazing.
He is so funny. He's so He actually, I was kind of curious as to how that role was gonna go for him, right? But he's so funny. It's like he's like watching like old soap operas and stuff like that, and like talking with the lady. He's like, yeah. It's like, how do we beat them? How did they get past this situation? She's like, don't worry, they're just gonna talk it out. I was like, oh, I thought they were gonna punch each other. I was like, all right. What else, Brad?
So that's really, let's see, The Last of Us season 2.
Get your golf clubs ready.
Minecraft the movie that already came out. I
Yeah.
think.
No.
No, that's sorry. April 4th of next year.
Oh, Chibi, you don't know. Minecraft has had like, I think they have a TV series. Telltale Games had a Minecraft game where it's like a whole narrative thing.
How does that even work?
They pretty much take like, there are characters, right? There is like an existing lore with like Steve and like the other characters, and they actually made a Telltale game, and I assume they're taking that Telltale stuff and then applying it to the film. Which, listen, it's animated, so if it was live action, I would be.
Oh, I thought you meant it was live action.
No.
I was very
You got to cast The Rock in, right? As he's like hitting fucking,
there's a long
as he's
list.
attacking the creeper.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of
TBAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I would like to see, Disco Elysium.
That one's got to be a TV show. Could never be a movie. Disco Elysium is, if you guys like the old kind of text scrolling, games, it's brilliant. Probably one of the best written games I've ever played. It's just a lot. It's a lot to go for.
I was gonna stream that game at one point, but I was like, you know what? I'm not reading all of this on stream. Like, I'm not spending hours just reading.
It's like, wow, Brad became a better reader.
Yeah, there's Grounded as a TV show.
Grounded would be a perfect TV show because it's essentially just a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
But with
friend
big
is
spiders.
Pedro.
My friend
They
Pedro.
have,
No fucking way. Are they really doing that?
No
way, dude.
It says status unknown, so I don't know if it's real.
You know what they need to
Yeah.
have a TV show about is Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb deserves an animated TV series. I would love that shit.
That would be fun.
That would be funny. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
I'm playing that right now. I'm enjoying the crap out of it.
It's a good game. I like it.
Chibi, are there any
Um,
games you want to see adapted besides Fortnite?
The Rock is Fortnite.
The big old pickaxe as he's flying in.
Dude, right?
Any rock bottom somebody.
Slime
I
Rancher.
don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I'd like to see something like Dragon Age. I feel like that would be cool if they could do something.
They
like
did
that.
they did an animated series on Netflix. Do not watch it. It is not good.
I feel like it'd be like a cool live action though, like how they kind of did with The Witcher.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
I
you
feel like
you like when it's crazy because when they did the animation, I remember watching it and being like, "This is not fucking Dragon Age. It's not
Mhm.
good." But like you have, like I said, I think it's like really difficult to kind of convince a studio to pay maybe like $100 million for a season, because you have to film like in all these different set piece set areas and stuff like that for a franchise, and hope that like the first episode hits, because if you go under like a certain percentage on critical reviews, like there's no fucking way it's gonna get like picked back up. So
I wish I could just have a lot of money and just do it. I mean, think of how cool Inquisition would be. Like, your main character suddenly gets like a fucking...
yeah, gets the ability, to like...
Well, I forget what it's called. It's been so long since
gets
I
the
played
mark.
it, but like that's so, yeah, gets the mark. I feel like that'd be so cool.
Becomes a Grey
I feel like that'd be the only one.
Becomes... Oh, dude, the whole... See, here's the thing. Like, the whole Grey Warden storyline is so fucking good that I'm like, that would be great for a whole, like, season. You know, or 2 or something like that. But like, I know
mean, and you have that conflict between the Grey Wardens and the mages, and it's so
but
nice.
they would fuck it up.
Yeah.
They would.
But ideally, that would be
down.
a really cool one.
Unless Liam Neeson was.
I hate Liam Neeson.
I want to see them try to do Mass Effect. That's probably just me.
It is on the list, but
It is on the list.
I don't know if I want
really-
a live action.
They did it. They did well enough with the D&D movie. I loved it, by the way. I just really hate how they animated the Tabaxi. It was
Oh yeah.
electronic look. It looked awful.
Yeah.
Person looked
I'm
awful.
kind of
Yeah.
worried how they'd handle like Rex and stuff like that. As long as, but I would be sold as long as it's like Shepard, Rex. I'm like fucking A+. I
They
don't
have
know what's happening. in this one.
Firewatch on this list.
Dude. So Firewatch was announced years ago, dude. They were supposed
The status unknown.
They were supposed to do Edith Finch too, which would have been fucking fantastic. Because Edith
that would have
Finch,
been good.
that's a heartbreaking
game.
ass game, dude.
Yeah.
God damn.
I played that one on stream.
Oh, dude, that shit hurts, man. Yeah, like all the narrative titles, like you could easily slot those in. Like I don't know why you
Just
wouldn't.
absolutely change them and make everyone mad.
It just Yeah, instead of like this like guy who's going through a divorce and he's really struggling to reconcile with his wife who has mental issues, let's just make him like this really attractive 20-year-old. Like he's just trying to figure himself out this summer, you know? It's like hold on, wait. I'm like, no, dude, we got people lined up. We're doing
It takes 2.
yeah. Oh,
Get real awkward with it.
it takes oh Jesus, dude. I don't know if it takes 2. You know what would be good was No Way Out. No Way Out would be fantastic.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be cool.
You could really do like, and you know, it's like the 70s and 80s, right, Jack? I think, or no, is it modern day? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Right? Like you could kind of fucking get whatever actor you want. You know, they just have to be kind of goofy and fucking have like a really sad, violent ending.
Duke Nukem.
Please God,
That's on the list.
watch them
But,
nail that, dude. Watch them fucking nail that. They're like, this show is awesome.
Horizon's on the list.
John Cena. It's certified.
Oh, that's right. Horizon is supposed to come out
Yeah.
next year.
That's a Netflix one.
God of War is Amazon, I think.
God of War is Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions.
But it's a show, right? It's not a movie. Oh, am I wrong? I might be wrong.
No, it's a show.
Oh,
It's
it
a
is
show.
a Prime Video.
But it's on Prime, right? Yeah.
Yeah, live action
Gears of War.
series.
Which one? Gears of War?
And they have
Gears of War could work too, dude.
they
Right?
could. Ghost of Tsushima's on there.
Ghost Sushi. It's on PC, by the way. So you guys can play it and enjoy the game like Brad and I have enjoyed it. Right? Chibi, you would love it. Ghost Tsushima is pretty fantastic.
It's okay.
It's what'd you say?
I'm sad at the ending.
Oh. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I kill all of my family members for no reason.
No spoilers.
That's why I
But
said all
you
my
know,
family
unfortunately, it's like a 4-year thing, so yeah, people are gonna spoil the shit out of it. We're just at that point now where we can have good adaptations, right? And it's fine. Like it's about fucking
and
time.
bad
That's
video games.
and bad video. But I mean, basically, dude. Like, I mean, you
It's
know,
reversed.
it's now in reverse. You know what I mean? I just
Oh,
think
dude,
that's what's up?
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, that's on
I
that
wanna
list
see,
too.
I want to see Skull and Bones, and it just be the best movie ever. Just
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirate ships
7.
going 90 miles an hour on the fucking ocean.
Dude, no, Fast and Furious Pirates. There we go.
The Caribbean.
You see him like swing. He's like, as they're going like 90 miles per hour, like they're ramming into each other. He like jump hops into the other one, shoots a cannon in midair. It's like you got skull and boned, and the fucking jumps in the water.
He said the name.
He said it. He said the thing. Nah, dude. They were supposed
I
to make
can't
the
see that.
Division. They were supposed to make the Division. They
But
had,
that's just like any other cop movie out there.
so like the thing with the
Or
Division
TV
was
show.
like that could be a really good movie. That could be a really fun movie, but I'm just hoping that now just that would be the best thing ever. It's just they pretty much just said Step Up, but they just renamed it to something. Or Stomp the Yard. They're like, yeah, dude, we're just gonna have it called Just Dance by Ubisoft. Ubisoft made a film, like, no shit, off a fucking it's called Werewolves Within. And they made like nobody who's ever like people didn't know it was an Ubisoft property, but it's basically this VR game, and essentially you're just like you have people sitting around and you interrogate them, and then you find out who the werewolf is. They made it into a comedy horror film, and it's fucking really good. And I was like, when people talk about good video game adaptations, like I want to give them like a mulligan because nobody knew that it was a fucking video game in the first place. Oh, I got one for you, Jack. Until Dawn. Or any of like the like the Quarry. Oh, dude.
Yeah. They should definitely do
That's just a scary movie.
fucking
Yes.
Detroit Become Human.
100%.
I would really love to see that.
Anything with like Quantic Dream,
series.
Like they could kind of unfuck Heavy Rain, but they could have Jack be the director and almost get himself killed in an apartment. When the fucking toaster exploded in front of his face. He almost got her killed. I was so bad watching the stream, dude. I was like, Jack, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, how come there's smoke in my face, bro? Am I gonna die? I was like, Jack, Jesus.
I mean, those are just basically movies, anyways.
I mean, but
yeah.
you could.
It should be easy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You could have these layups, man. But I am concerned about like certain properties, But it's one of those things where we're finally at a point where like everything can get adapted, and then, Far Cry is one of them that you could nail.
Except for Final Fantasy.
I mean, Advent Children wasn't bad, dude. That was a good movie.
It wasn't.
But like, when they did live action, The Spirits Within, it's like that wasn't even a Final Fantasy film. That was, I don't know what the fuck that was.
It was the Final Fantasy film that they made.
But I really feel like it's like games that you don't expect to be good films or good shows, like Castlevania, Sonic the Hedgehog, that type of stuff.
Jack and Dexter.
What's that?
Jack and Dexter.
Oh, Jack and Dexter. Oh, dude, that'd be actually a good animated series. Fuck talking about Shaq Fu.
It's it's going to be live action.
Dr. Wario.
That Dr. Wario. I think they might. And like I'm assuming the next Mario Brothers movie should have Wario in it, right? And Waluigi. That'd be funny.
If they keep it animated,
they have to. They got to keep Chris Pine playing Mario, who contributes nothing to that character.
Chris Pine.
Pine. I'm sorry, not Chris Pine. Chris Pratt. Yeah. There's the 3 Chris's, man. There's Evans, Pratt. Oh no, there's 4. There's like Hemsworth. There's Pine. There's Pratt. Right.
There's too many.
There's too many Chris's.
Not enough. What are you talking about?
Chris Evans should play Waluigi. Chris Pine plays Wario, right? Just get them on the same phone.
Oh, I was thinking Danny DeVito as Wario.
Dane. So anyway, I just kept blasting. But I think we're in a good place, right? So, next pixelated thoughts, Arcane. That'd be a good rewatch because fucking I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think Brad and I think everyone agrees if you've seen it. Like the animation is just tremendous, and if you don't know anything about League of Legends, you don't have to know shit because they pretty much focus on like a handful of characters, and then they expand upon the universe, and then it's a good watch for season 3. After that, I kind of want to watch like. Let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Has anyone watched that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't seen it.
We'll talk about that next. I was going to say The Last of Us, but that would be fucking really depressing for some people here because that show does not fucking like pull punches. There are some really tragic moments in the show. And I was like, God damn. I may ask you guys to watch like the first episode and then get back to me. For Down the Rabbit Hole, it's going to be the next episode we cover. It's going to be Kaiju number 8. I think it's going to be in episode 7 or 8. It's actually getting to a really... I read the manga because I was interested. Chibi. I like it so far. I think it hits the right tone. Like it's not like it knows that it wants to kind of be funny and serious at the same time. And the animation's fantastic. Like when it hits a set piece moment, Jack, I'm telling you, it fucking crushes it.
I'm really excited for you to watch it, Jack.
It
Like it's
crushes it. I was shocked. Brad, I think you're gonna like it too because it's it's got good balance.
It's a good balance. It's a good balance. Like seriously.
And then who's
All right, you say that now.
Who's making the recommendation next? I know what Brad wants to watch. I think Jack, you said Mashal season 2.
Wait, which one? Which one? Because I gave a bunch of suggestions.
Brad had like
and
7
you
of
shot
them.
down like every single one.
Oh no.
Wait, what did I shoot down? I don't remember.
Ghost stories.
Oh no. we couldn't fucking talk about it, man. We couldn't talk about ghost stories because of like it would be censoring half the fucking content. I can't believe that got made. I think it's either Chibi. Well, no. It went Chibi then me. No, it went Check first. It's you, right, Brad? Okay.
I went Jack, Brad, me, you.
Okay. And we keep giving Jack like mulligans. It's like the best part. Jack's like, I have another one, sir.
I thought this was gonna be good.
I love when Jack leans in. He's like, I was wrong. It's like,
I do have one that was recommended to me while I was at work. It was called.
That's a porno. No.
Shit. Where is it? I emailed it to myself. Talentless Nana.
I don't think I know that one.
No.
Oh no.
I think that's a
Actually-
horror one.
Oh, is it?
Talentless Nana. Why do I know that one? That sounds.
A Japanese manga series written by Loose Boy and illustrated by Lori Furia. It has been serialized in Square Enix's Shonen Manga magazine.
Mhm.
Plot. In near future, mysterious monsters known as enemies of humanity begin to appear, and
Psychological
with it,
thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. No, Talentless Nana is like a fucked up. It's pretty good, but it is like it's not what you expect. Like especially with the way the main character looks and stuff like that. It is far darker than I expected, but it's
I don't
pretty
know.
good.
The Reddit says talentless Nana, possibly the greatest disappointment of the decade.
It might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
I'm surprised it's not Wonder Egg priority with the way that fucking
But
anime ended.
But the very next post is talentless Nana is so good. So
There we go. We're hitting
Good
that we're hitting
discrepancy.
that stride, baby. Let's go. The dichotomy of man. Okay, so Jack, whatever you want to choose, but Brad has like 7 of them. So here's how we'll do it when we go through Kaiju number 8. When we get to Brad, we'll vote. Right? We'll do like a little vote about what we want to watch. And if we get a tiebreaker, Brad, you get to break it because it is your suggestion. Right? So let's all vote no.
Heard.
All right. Any closing thoughts on Castlevania? Anybody? Brad, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've not heard any complaints about mine. So
Either.
I mean, you got like the way like we're structured. Like there's no complaints about either of these up here. The one guy who gets the mulligan is the dude down here. He's trying to redeem himself. He's trying his goddamn hardest. But I have
gonna be one.
Jack. I feel it, bro. I feel it. Like
I do too.
you're gonna
Third
crush
time's
it.
charm.
4th time, I think.
I was trying to give him some leeway.
All right. So, any closing thoughts on Castlevania video game adaptations as a whole, or what we're doing forward? Anybody?
Do Dragon Age, thank you.
Dragon Age. Okay. Play that game, please.
Please.
Jack, anything?
No, I thought it was great.
Fantastic. All right, that's gonna do it. So
Dracula was
Dracula
always right.
No, that's what the top says. Says Dracula
Yeah.
did nothing wrong.
Yeah, there we go. Okay,
That's
okay.
the thing. So
There we go.
next episode.
He did a little wrong.
Nah, shut up. You do nothing.
It's a little wrong.
Next episode of Pixelated Thoughts is going to be Arcane, and the next episode upcoming for Down the Rabbit Hole is going to be Kaiju number 8. And that's going to do it for this episode. This has been Pixelated Thoughts. Chibi, Jack, Brad, me. We'll talk to you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Brad.